What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Final Whistle. I'm Danny Erb, joined alongside very special guest for the first time joining the program, my good friend, Tommy Armstrong.
What's up, Danny? Nice to be
What's going on,
here.
Tommy?
Happy to chop up some NFL. Let's get right to it.
Let's do it. Tommy is with me currently at New House here at Syracuse. Jets fan, Tommy. So
It's a tough life.
yeah, it's a brutal 0-2. But Tommy's big NFL guy, so we're gonna dive into the NFL, talk about everything that's happened. No Nate this week. He'll be back for the Steelers recap and talk about the Steelers. But we got Tommy for now, so let's get into it, Tommy. Week 2 of the NFL kicked off on Thursday. Packers, Commanders. This was a good game. Packers, though, they were in command this entire game. I mean, I never really was never scared of the Commanders in this game. The box score looks way closer than it was. I mean, Jordan Love looked great. 292 yards, 2 interceptions, no interceptions with a 113 passer rating. Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, week 2 is really where teams start separating. Week 1, you have those outliers, some teams that really overperform, underperform, and then, week 2, you can kind of get a better read on how everything happened. And the Green Bay Packers right now look disgustingly good. Came in, took care of business. Like you said, the end of the score looks a little bit closer. Commanders scored in garbage time. Couldn't really get anything going the entire game, though. It was Green Bay the whole way. And after the first 2 games, that's how it's gone for them.
And, looking at the Commanders side, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt has been blessed with an opportunity now not blessed. Austin Eckler tore his Achilles. He's out for the year. But with JCM had, I didn't love what I saw from him. 4 carries, 17 yards. I mean, it looked like they were scared to use him almost. It looks like they were like, it feels like the Commanders are like, oh, crap. Like, I guess we have to use this guy now. And, like, they hate that, which I don't get.
Yeah, it's going to be a super interesting thing to see how he kind of handles the workload or how the Commanders handle it themselves. Because like you said, once Austin Eckler went down, they were losing significantly. And I guess they just don't trust him right now in the passing game because towards the end of the game, it was going towards other running backs. Jeremy McNichols doesn't really pop up on the stat sheet, but he was the guy in there. They trusted him in the blocking game. He's their receiving back. Right now, they're not trusting JCM, but there's a reason for that Brian Robinson trade before the season. I mean, he got a lot of hype in the preseason, kind of fell in the draft. They were like, hey, this isn't just some late round pick. This is going to be our guy. It seemed, and rookies take a while to kind of get accustomed, but week 3 coming in, it really should be his backfield for the taking. So Commanders are going to have to lean on him. They had a steady thing with Brian Robinson, decided to move on, and now here you go.
And then the other story I think we have to talk about here, I mean, the Packers are. Is this the best team in the NFC? I know you have the Eagles, but I honestly think that if it was Green Bay and the Eagles, I wouldn't not go with Green Bay.
Yeah,
I think I would take Green Bay there. I think this could be the best team in the NFC. Defense is insane.
It's tough. I think that would be a lot dependent on who's home for who would be favored in that. If you put them on a neutral field, yeah, the spread on that, I mean, it would be no farther than a pick 'em, really. I think you might be able to favor Green Bay a little bit. Like you mentioned, I have the Eagles higher, but really only because I'm going to keep them there until they show us that they're not better.
Totally
Coming off the Super Bowl, they cruised through the end of last season. They haven't done anything to step off the first. Their offense doesn't look purely intact, but the great part about it for Philly is their defense looks amazing. They've let up nothing, essentially, to 2 pretty solid teams in the first 2 weeks.
I mean, yeah, we'll get right into it. Eagles Chiefs was a good game. I thought this was going to be a little bit of a better game. Jalen Hurts is under some, I don't know if you've been hearing this Jalen Hurts slander that has been thrown around social media. People saying Jalen Hurts has only thrown 2 passes over 10 yards this season so far, which is not wrong. But I mean, now there's allegations that Jalen Hurts is not even top 10, which is insane to me. Listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. To me, you're winning games. What they've won, like their last, like I don't even know how many games. Like they have not lost football games since like week 6 last year. So
yeah, there's a one outlier. The Commanders beat them in Washington. It was on that crazy comeback.
Yes.
the really weird end to it. They scored 2 times in the last like minute for the Commanders to walk them off. Yeah, aside from that, like you said, week 6 out of the bye last week, they beat the Cleveland Browns and they won every single game except the Commanders through the Super Bowl into this season. And I think when a team is just that high and mighty, you have, as fans, they try and find something to put them down. Oh, Jalen Hurts isn't a great quarterback. That's been kind of thrown around with Pat Mahomes in the last few years. Oh, he's not doing that much. But the Chiefs are great. Like, this is a team that's going to find ways to win. Their run game is so impressive. He doesn't have to throw more than 10 yards
not at all.
Field. Their defense is elite. If they're going to win games, especially this early on in the season, there's no point in them having to put up so many points. They just beat the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs. They've let up 37 total points this season. And those are 2 pretty good teams.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles, they look, I mean, they're unstoppable right now. They are literally the most unstoppable team. They are way more unstoppable than the Kansas City Chiefs were in their prime, I would say, just because, like, literally, this is the craziest winning streak, like, I've seen. They are on a tear, and they keep adding players. They just signed Clowney, right?
Clowney's Cowboys. Cowboys.
Who'd they sign? Former first overall pick, South Carolina. Oh,
well, that is Clowney, but
who they signed? Who they signed?
Eagles had a big one. Maybe I'm missing.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm blanking. I thought it was Clowney actually. Zadarius Smith. They just signed Zadarius Smith. So what? How are we letting the Eagles get Zadarius? I'm shocked they didn't jump on Jabril Peppers, because the Eagles are a team that, like, literally just keep doing their thing, and they know they're good, and they still keep trying to get better. It's not like, they're content with being good and they fall off, and it just slowly, because that's kind of what's happened to the Chiefs. Guys have left or leave, and then you just get worse and worse and worse every year. The Eagles are getting better, it looks like, and they are not slowing down, which I love. I mean, I'm not an Eagles fan by any means, but if you're an Eagles fan, this is awesome. You're showing that, okay, we looked a little rough here. Let's go sign a guy who's an absolute dog in Zadarius Smith. I love the signing, first of all. It happened right after the Chiefs game. Like, literally, I think 30 minutes after that Chiefs game ended. I don't know what tempted them to be like, oh yeah, we gave up 17 points. Let's go sign another just beast, a pass rusher, which is,
it's because why not? I mean, that's what the Eagles are going to do. That's how they're going to win games. They're going to win games because of they can run the football, and they're going to play better defense. It's a point where, hey, we're just going to jump out in front. We have a better team, and then there's no shot you're going to catch up. They pick on Jalen Hurts this year because, first game, 152 passing yards. Second game, 101 passing yards. They won both. Like, what? It doesn't matter.
I agree. And the other thing I want to talk about this game, Tommy, has Patrick Mahomes been the leading rusher for the Chiefs in 2 straight weeks?
Yeah.
He was in week 1, and he is again in week 2. 66 yards for Patrick Mahomes on 7 carries. What in the hell is going on in this rushing core in Kansas City? We thought it was Pacheco's backfield. I think no one didn't think it was going to be that. Pacheco, 10 carries for 22 yards. I mean, he's looked flat out terrible, right?
Yeah. Didn't expect as 50-50 of a backfield going into the season. Figured Isaiah Pacheco had some more rest and recovery off that injury last season. Maybe they're still trying to just work him up. At the same time, you look at the inefficiency this game. I think that's a little bit part of just this Eagles rush defense. They were missing Jalen Carter in the first game, and Javonte Williams averaged under 4 yards per carry. You add Jalen Carter, it's a really hard defense to run against, but the split looks weird. And it's just at a point where I mentioned before, people start ripping on Pat Mahomes not doing as much, but the Chiefs are still winning games. Now it's almost like they're expecting him to do too much. Yes. They don't have help for him. His number 1 receiver right now is Hollywood Brown. The 2 is who knows? I mean, Tyquan Thornton was the next best wide receiver in last game. And Travis Kelce's dropping footballs where they could have won that game if he caught it.
Rashad Smith is like there. I don't know what's going on in Kansas City. Is it time? They're 0-2. They were 0. They have not been 0-2 since 2014, Tommy.
Yeah.
The Kansas City Chiefs. Do we panic in Kansas City? I still think that they're winning that division. And if you like to bet, they're minus 160 to win the division. I think that is free coin. Like, they're winning this division. They're going to either make a insane trade, because if you're Kansas City, you're not letting Patrick Mahomes go out like this. You're not letting Mahomes turn into what we're seeing, in let me find another example. What we saw in Dallas in the NBA with Luka Doncic. Like, you're not, even though they won chips, like, you're not going to let him just have no help and just carry and then just get this far. So I mean, Rashee Rice is going to be back in a few weeks, but you don't want to be 0-6 when Rashee Rice comes back, because the team, it's a possibility. I mean, you had to play the Eagles. I picked the Eagles to win this week. But man, dude, is it time to panic for Kansas City?
I think you don't panic quite yet. It's one of those teams where if they start out 0-2, you're kind of like, oh, maybe they played two really good teams, which it looks like the Chargers are playing pretty good football, and they played the Philadelphia Eagles. At the same time, you can't take yourself into an 0-3 hole. It's pretty much impossible to make the playoffs at that point. They have a very favorable matchup. It's on prime time, but it's Sunday night against the New York Giants. They have to win that game, considering Week 4 is against the Baltimore Ravens. That's going to be another big test. But you don't panic 0-2 when you have a guy like Mahomes. And it's also a situation where I don't necessarily know if you'd be wasting a year of Pat Mahomes. But the Patriots did this too when they had Tom Brady. They went on a very impressive run and were a dynasty at the start. Fell off, whatever you want to call it. Like, just didn't win a Super Bowl in a couple of years, and then just ran the gauntlet again with Tom Brady Part 2. Yeah. And it could very well be one of those things. When you have a guy like Mahomes on your team, there's a franchise cornerstone. He's going to be there his entire career. It's not like you're giving him up. It's not good to waste any years of his career, but it's not like this Chiefs team or this dynasty is dead. He's playing without receivers right now. Xavier Worthy potentially can come back this week. And then you try and mix in Rashee Rice. You just have to stay afloat to that point. But they have a really tough beginning of the schedule, and 0-2 is not a good way to start it.
Tough look. It's a bad look. And they're going to have to bounce back one way or another. Let's go to what other game should we hit right now? Let's go to Panthers-Cardinals. Box score again looks way closer than this game was.
Yeah.
It was 27-3 at one point, I believe.
At least 27-9, and it was 27-3. At the beginning of the third quarter, the first drive of the third quarter, the Cardinals punched in another touchdown, 27-3 to start the second half.
I know what you think about this comment right here. Do you think Kelsey's done after this year? Yes.
Maybe he plays another year of football, but he's done. Yeah, that guy, he doesn't have it anymore.
When is his contract up? Do we know? Is Kelsey's?
Why are you looking at that? I mean, Danny, I know you.
This year.
Oh, wow. So that'll be really interesting, especially if the Chiefs decide to even throw any more money at him. Danny, I know you're the big betting guy here, and you say Kansas City slam them for the division win. I got to say, I'm pretty shocked they're the favorite, though. How is the Chargers coming in at plus money? I mean, you got a 2-0 team.
After last night, I mean, I wonder if I can check. Let me just see, because we're in New York. I don't know.
That might have seen some big movement.
Yeah, I'll check on that as we talk about the Panthers.
No worries. That'll be a fun division race. That whole AFC.
That's going to be
West had a little more.
Awesome. The Broncos look terrible. I hate the Broncos.
Yeah, both the Broncos and the Raiders with that was serious struggle. The Broncos could very well be 0-2.
Let's see. The Kansas City Chiefs to win that division are plus 240 now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say
that's free money.
You have a team that's 2-0, and the other one 0-2. I'd be shocked if the Chiefs still were favorites. That makes a lot more sense to me, and that becomes much more value.
I love that, by the way. If you like free money, Chiefs plus 240 is a nuke. Let's get into this Cardinals-Panthers game.
Yeah, let's do it. We kind of set the whole thing up.
Man, Bryce Young has this is the worst 328-yard 3 touchdown game I think I've ever seen in my life. He had a 47-yard QBR or 47.1 QBR. I mean, he started cooking in the second half. I guess those 13 points were just like I felt like the Cardinals were just like, all right, dude, like come on, like
100%.
Just screw off. One thing that I think I'm panicking on. Marvin Harrison Jr., man, 2 receptions for 27 yards. This guy was supposed to be the next coming of, Antonio Brown. He was supposed to be the next best wide receiver in the NFL, and now he's not. 22 for 27, and this is his second year. Was it a fluke? I don't know. Marvin Harrison. I'm panicking on Marvin Harrison, but the Cardinals team is 2-0. I still don't think this team looks good. This is not a good 2-0 team.
I mean, it's much easier to be 2-0 when your first two opponents are the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. Yes. I think that is a big reason why this team's 2-0. They versed the two worst offenses in the NFL. This Carolina Panthers team looks disgustingly bad. I was a Bryce Young truther. I was hoping he took a big step up. He looked better at the second half of last season. They got a weapon in Ted McMillan. And yeah, the Cardinals destroyed him. But as you just mentioned, you look at the Cardinals box score on the offensive side, it's almost like they didn't really play offense themselves. Like Kyler had a fine day, threw for 220 yards. You don't have to do too much when you're just beating up on the Panthers and your defense is helping out so much. But yeah, Marvin Harrison, it's the most glaring warning sign issue, whatever you want to call it, of this Cardinals offense. And the talent has to be there. He was one of the biggest recruits and then one of the biggest prospects in the draft. I don't know if it's him and Kyler just not hooking up. I don't know if it's, like I mentioned, the play calling for him. I know his route tree was really slim last year, and I just don't think they're using him in Marvin Harrison ways.
I agree. I think they got to open him up a little bit more. They got to there's got to be certain scenarios, I think, where Kyler Murray, it's third and 18. And there has to be a scenario where it's like, all right, it's going to Marv. Like I think he is going to be that guy eventually, but it's been now a year and 2 games. So let's go. I don't understand why we haven't seen that yet, where it's like, okay, like when in doubt, Kyler goes to Marv. You see it on the other end of the spectrum. I mean, Nicholas brings it up right here. Tet looked like he had some promise. Bryce Young has already been like, yo, Tet, it's I'm looking for pressure. Where the hell is Tet at? And he throws the Tet. Tet looked great. 6 catches for 100 yards, 16.7 yards per catch, no touchdowns, 40-yard bomb he caught. Tet looks great for a rookie. He looks what looks to be. We can start talking about offensive rookie of the year. I know it's week 2, but Tet's looked great so far.
Yeah, he looks phenomenal. He's as advertised. There's a reason why he went inside the top 10, why he was the first receiver off the board. And the Panthers went to go get him for that reason. Hey, Bryce Young, you're in trouble. We need to get you a guy.
Yes.
And he's doing exactly that. It's definitely not his fault that this Panthers offense looks terrible. They just don't have the entire package. He's great, but
I think
there's nothing else there.
Change. I think there needs to be a coaching change in Carolina. I think they suck.
I mean, it's glaring after 2 weeks that they need a lot of change.
I mean, the offense, man, look, it's there. I feel like Hunter Renfrow is a great signing. I love that for them. I think he can still get it done. But I mean, Nicholas says right here that the Cardinals, especially their offense, is actually good on paper. I agree. You have James Conner and Trey Benson, which is going to be a great running back core. James Conner refuses to age, even though he did not have a great game. 11 carries for 34 yards. Trey Benson, 3 carries for 14 yards. Kyler Murray, 7 for 32. It's a good team on paper. You still got Trey McBride, who can't find the end zone for who knows why. But yeah, I mean, Cardinals are just always going to be a question for me, man. It's going to be when are they going to finally break out? Because they have the intangibles, but it just doesn't. It's not there.
Yeah, like Nicholas said, I mean, this team on paper, it looks pretty good. It looks like it should be one of the better offenses in the NFL. And it's starting to get to a matter of, is Kyler Murray just not that good? I mean, this guy came in as a number 1 overall pick, had a lot of intent. He had the skill that you want, but is the intangibles there? Like, can this guy just go out and win football games, which so far throughout his career, haven't necessarily seen. They're off to a 2-0 record, but the schedule is just going to get much harder from here after those first 2 games.
All right. Steelers, Seahawks. I mean, I'm sure I'll get into that later with Nathan, but we'll briefly touch over this. I mean, the Steelers look bad. They looked terrible. Aaron Rodgers looked like a godsend last week, and he had a 30.7 QBR this week. He got sacked 3 times, 2 interceptions. One was not his fault. The other was his fault. Man, bad luck for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jaylen Warren, I think, is my takeaway from this game. He looked amazing.
Phenomenal. I mean, he owned this running back group
Yes.
pretty much said, this is my backfield, which is rare in an Arthur Smith run offense. But if he's not just the guy moving forward, he showed it both in the receiving game and in the rushing game. This should be who they lean on. Obviously, you're going to get your mix in of guys.
Yeah.
Interested in your opinion as the Pittsburgh Steelers fan, why it's so Kenneth Gainwell is the second guy versus giving any sort of run to Caleb Johnson.
Because Caleb Johnson is a worse Najee Harris, in my opinion. When we drafted him, he's slow. He's not explosive. I didn't love the draft of Caleb Johnson. I think it's a fine pick. What he did on the kick return makes me already not like the guy. He was like the kick returner at Iowa. And I don't know how you don't know that. Oh, once you he touched the ball. I mean, clear as day. Do I have a football in here? Yeah. So clear as day. The ball
Live
comes
demonstration.
up, hits the ball, and then he's just like, "All right, yeah, we're good." Like the ball's in the end zone. The ball was in the end zone, Jalen. Let's turn around and at least dive on it. That was like, I was like, as a Steelers fan, I usually get pretty upset. I've never been at a loss of words before. I was just looking at my TV like, and then I was like, all right, like
it wasn't a pretty play.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen. It was actually almost on par with who was it? I just blanked on his name. Not Ben Skoranek. Dude from Bemidji State. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, you know more Bemidji State ball than I do. Very, very NFL focused.
Gunnar Olszewski. When he toe tapped a kickoff on the 1 yard line, that was that was going out of bounds. It would have been, we'd got the ball on the 40. Needless to say, I don't know what the hell is going on in Pittsburgh. I think the defense, for being the highest paid defense in the NFL and the best defense, Jalen Ramsey looked terrible this week. I mean, literally terrible. He gave up a huge play to JSN when you needed a stop, and he looked terrible. Now, looking at the Seahawks, they looked good. Kenneth Walker was out-carried by Sharp.
Yep.
Out-carried by Sharp, and he crushed him in the rushing yards. I love that for Kenneth Walker. I'm a Kenneth Walker truther. I know you are as well.
Oh, yeah. Told people to draft him in fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm still on it. This guy's getting worked back
in.
This guy's getting worked back in. He was hurt last season. And I think that's really what it is. I'm not saying he's going to be a bell cow. Zach Charbonnet is good. Didn't show it against the Steelers, but Kenneth Walker's getting his touches. He's still getting out-snapped by Zach Charbonnet, but his percentage of touches when he's on the field way out-carries what Zach Charbonnet is doing. They're using Charbonnet more blocking-wise, but when Kenneth Walker's in, there's a reason why he's in. They're using him a ton. And he showed that, hey, you could ball out a little bit. It's a scary issue for the Steelers, though. The Jets ran all over them, and then Kenneth Walker comes in here as well. And we'll get into the Jets later as well. But you take a team like the Jets, you saw how exposed they got against the Bills, and that offense looked horrible. And then there's a lot of questions around this Pittsburgh Steelers defense on how the Jets did that last week and how the Seahawks come in with 31 points.
Yeah. As Nicholas says, Jason looks good.
He is incredible. I mean, there's not enough good things to say about him. He's getting he has 51% of the receiving yards for the Seahawks this season.
That's insane.
He has 40% of the target share. This guy's the whole offense in the pass game.
Yeah, so Seahawks 31, Steelers 17. Again, me and Nate will probably touch on that game on the Steelers show. Cowboys Giants was in a electric. I think this was the best game of the week. This was a game of the week. Russie, man. I love me some Russie. 450 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and interception. Interception came in overtime, I think. Until then, he was playing perfect football. Cam Scatterbo. I didn't think he was going to be this involved in this Giants offense this early, and he's looked great. 11 carries for 45 yards. He is begging for CTE, though. I mean, this guy is putting his helmet in the other people's face and just begging for CTE. Malik Neighbors, though. I mean, good God. Is Malik already top 5 receiver? Are we there? Are we there yet? I'm there.
I think we could easily be there. And the question is, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson are so untouchable as like, oh, this is 1A, 1B, no doubt. But Malik Neighbors, what he put together in his rookie season and the pace he's on, like if this continues, is there a shot like he's just in that elite tier with them? Like
I think
he's
I'm ready to put him over AJ Brown.
Is he
Is that
getting in there?
ridiculous? Is that ridiculous for me to say he's better than AJ Brown? I mean, AJ Brown has put up stinker and stinker.
Again, two very different offenses. This Giants offense airs it out, and it's going to Malik Neighbors. But that's the thing. The other team knows that. The other team knows shut down Malik Neighbors, and you can't do it.
You can't do it. And then you got Kentucky boy Wandale Robinson is looking great as well. This Giants offense, I mean, they're 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, the team still needs some work.
I mean, the defense is there. I think the defensive line's very good. They pressured the Cowboys great. I mean, they on paper played great football. Giving up 40 points is not playing great football, though. So they've got some stuff to do. I think their secondary's trash, but that D-line is great. Yeah, I don't know. CeeDee Lamb, 9 catches for 112 yards. Dak Prescott, almost 400 yards. Javonte Williams, 18 carries for 95 yards. This is a great game. Goes to overtime. Oh, geez. What's his face? Brandon Aubrey drills 2, 64-yarder, and then the one from like 20 out that just iced the game. This is a great game. Having a quality kicker like Brandon Aubrey is just, I mean, you don't. Like they were showing the target line to get to, and it was like, dude, you got to get 50 yards. Like you're fine. Fun game though. This is I think my game of the week.
Yeah, that's the biggest takeaway for me on this Cowboys offense as well. You look at the stat sheet. I mean, everything jumps out just because how this game was 40-37. It goes to overtime. This is the offense I expect from the Cowboys. Dak Prescott threw 52 times. So everything like receiving wise, all the running back room, wide receiver room looks great. The biggest takeaway is Brandon Aubrey is an insane advantage for a football team to have. I mean, they were at the 50-yard line with 9 seconds left, down 3, and they decided to run the football just to set him up on the left hash. They were like, "Yeah, we're at the 50. It's cool. He's got it.
We're good at the 50." Like that is the best. That's the best advantage ever. Is literally. All right, let's take this back. We get the ball with the 20 or the 30, depending on where the ball goes now in this weird kick out.
Well, the way the kick returns are more frequent and they're better. And if you let a touchback, it's at the 35 now. It's at the 35. So
we need 25 yards. Down. We need 25 yards, and we're good with Aubrey. So you literally need a 25-yard play. This is for if you're down, which is insane. Damn. I mean, Cowboys have that's got to be their MVP. I mean. You talk CD, but sure.
The difference maker.
Lions, Bears. This is another barn burner. Lions looked great. Amon St. Brown, 3 tutties. Jahmyr Gibbs, 12 carries for 95 yards. Monty, 11 carries for 57 yards. I think Monty went down for a little bit too, but I think he's good. JMO and Amon do it again. I mean, this is a fun offense. They got spanked by the Packers in week 1, and then they put the beat down on their former offensive coordinator. For the Bears, though, I don't know. What are your takeaways from this game?
Yeah, biggest takeaways is that we talked about it before, but the Packers are really good. The Lions showed that they are still very capable and identical offense. I was panicking on the Lions a little bit after week 1. This offense looks nothing like it did last year. Then they put this up, and it's like, okay, they're fine. Even without Ben Johnson, that is the same offense. Everything works well. The Packers destroyed them. So the Packers are good. That was my first takeaway. And then second is like, okay, we could exhale. The Lions still are capable, more than capable on offense. Again, it looked like they did last season. And the Bears and Caleb Williams, there's another one where it's like, is there a lot of question marks thrown at this guy now?
I was a Caleb Williams hater in college, so I love seeing him fail. I'm not gonna lie. I'm such a hater. I don't think he's a good quarterback at all, actually. What's it say? Odunze is the takeaway for the Bears. He's actually good. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's having a better season than he had last year. 7 yards for 128. He's the number 1. And DJ Moore is on paper, I think, but Rome Odunze is going to be the number 1 here in a few weeks. DJ Moore had some bad drops. Some bad drops.
Yeah, it's clear as day that Rome is the top guy in this offense. It's a year 2 leap. It's really nice to see him and Caleb Connect. That was really the problem last year. They used him a lot, especially in the red zone, and they just couldn't find it. It's nice to see he caught a touchdown in game 1 and 2 last week this weekend against the Lions. That's the only really good part about this Lions offense. DeAndre Swift, he got some carries taken away from him because he's not good. I'll stand on that. I've always been a DeAndre Swift hater. They don't really have a second guy to mix in. That's the problem. I mean, when Ben Johnson had the Lions offense, there was always a second guy to kind of work in. He's trying to work in Kyle Monangai. We'll see if that comes to fruition. But again, it was still Swift a lot. He outsnapped him, outcarried him 12-1 until it was 52-21. And then Monangai gets 6 carries. It took Swift out of the game. So it's interesting to see if there's going to be more of a split. I just don't think Swift has what it takes to be the back in this back. This is a pretty decent offensive line, and he's just not the guy.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get a good running game in the NFL at this day and age. Speaking of running game, what the hell happened in Baltimore this week? Derrick Henry led up the worst. I mean, it's the worst Derrick Henry game I think I've ever seen in like years from Derrick Henry. He had 11 carries and only had 23 rushing yards. I don't know. It's crazy.
It might be the saving grace of this Browns team. Like, maybe they have a pretty solid rush defense. Chase Brown wasn't great in week 1 against them. Everybody knows how week 1 Bengals are, but they did a pretty good job against them. And then they didn't do a good job against the Ravens. But if you shut down Derrick Henry, that's a huge positive no matter what.
But I mean, like, the NFL has to be scared about this because you shut down Derrick Henry to the point where he was not even a factor in this game. And the Baltimore football Ravens put up 40 points back-to-back weeks. I mean, yeah, this is your team in the AFC, in my opinion. It's them and the Bills. And man, I as a Steelers fan, I hate the Ravens. This is the best team in the AFC. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was for me coming in. It was just weird in week 1. It was one of those where they were winning, and I hate when NFL teams do this now, especially against good quarterbacks. It's like, hey, we're winning, so let's just not lose. And they don't run the same offense. They're just handing off the football. You're playing up against a stacked box, and you don't want to give the ball back to Josh Allen's hands. We saw what happened on that primetime game. I hate when teams do that. It's kind of just like, oh, we're up a lot. Let's try and walk this as a win. I think if the Ravens stayed competitive and stayed foot on the gas, they would have wiped that Bills team out. Instead, let him back in the game. Can't do that against a guy like Josh Allen. But they had a chip on their shoulder after that game, clearly, and they took it out on a division opponent.
Exactly. Nicholas says, I thought if the Browns safety comments, Henry would run all over them. The Browns actually backed up. I agree. The guy was like, yeah, Derrick Henry is easy to tackle. First of all, you're lying. I don't care what. I don't care. You let him 11 carries, 23 yards. You're a liar. But they backed it up. I thought Derrick Henry was going to like abuse them, and then the post game show would be like, yeah, how am I that easy to tackle now? So that's cool. They backed it up, man. I'll tell you what. As the CEO of Myles Garrett hate, man, it's getting tough. It's getting tough. It's getting very, very tough for my TJ Watt agenda. It's getting almost so tough to the point where I'm going to have to bend the knee by next week and be like, all right, I'm not going to say it, but like, I'll give you like one of these. Like, I won't say it, but I'll be like, who's better? I'll be like,
you just tip the cap,
TJ. And then like, I mean, if you watch this game, he has 1.5 sacks. He was all over that backfield. I mean, insane. He had 5 tackles, 2 solo, and 1.5 sacks. He could have. I thought he was going to have like 6 sacks. He was all over that backfield. He had like 3 straight sacks at some point, but like they called one off and like they called another one off. It was insane. But yeah, he's a dog. In the Ravens, man, their receiving core is not good, but somehow Lamar Jackson just finds a way to make guys like Rashad Bateman good receivers, and Tylan Wallace a good receiver, and Devontae Walker. Like, what? DeAndre Hopkins is 95 years old, and he's making one-handed catches to score.
He's doing what they signed him for. I'd say, give us the one catch a game, done back-to-back weeks. But the The Walker couple grabs, really weird. The main thing is that Zay Flowers is stamping that he is
he's the
wide
wide
receiver
one.
one
Yes.
on this team. I mean, he has been the last few years, but it's just not utilized like that, really. I mean, they go around. Obviously, they lean on Derrick Henry, but back to back, just insane target shares, double-digit targets. And they're leaning on him. Isaiah likely expected back, so we'll see
Thank
if that changes
God,
anything.
because Mark Andrews had 1 catch for 2 yards, and
He's
looks
done.
terrible.
I mean, talk about
He's-
Travis Kelce and tight ends being done.
He's
Put Mark Andrews in there.
His agenda's over. Yeah, it's the Isaiah Likely show, so I'm gonna need to figure that out in fantasy football. What other game should we hit next here? Let's go to Bills Jets. Your almighty Jets.
Oh, thank God.
I'll let you kind of lead the charge here, but
What
you got some explaining to do for this Justin Fields guy, because 27 yards passing is not a good look, Tommy.
I mean, the Jets are going to jet at the end of the day. That's what I'll say.
That is the slogan.
It shows that it's not a fantasy football thing, but it shows you just how bad this team is if the quarterback does not play even a smidge of solid. Breece Hall gets boxed. Garrett Wilson's the only receiver on this team, first of all, and then it's like, hey,
over
now
10 yards.
Yeah, it's like now we can't throw the football and you're dead. And the biggest thing is just like you saw at least a Robert Saleh defense could contain other teams. This is back-to-back weeks. They got the Steelers ported on, and Josh Allen used to have nightmares at MetLife Stadium. He has spanked the Jets around in the last 2 times at MetLife, and there's no question. I mean, he didn't really do too much this game. That
Not
was
at all.
the only fine thing. The Jets played pretty well in the red zone. Stopped Allen a couple times, had very bad penalties. It's a non-disciplined defense, and that's what kept the Bills inching forward, but held them to a couple field goals in the red zone. At the end of the day, you see Jaylen Warren have a good day against him week 1, and James Cook just tears them up. Like
Crazy game from James Cook.
You even stop whatever. You contain Josh Allen, and then James Cook goes and does it. It's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. James Cook played great. I mean, the Jets need to figure it out, man.
Too many problems.
0-2 is bad. It's a bad look. Only 10% of teams have ever made the playoffs, I think, starting 0-2.
Yeah.
So
we talked about not panicking on the Chiefs. The Jets are not the
panicked
Chiefs.
Yes.
I mean, it's not even panic. I didn't expect this team to make the playoffs, but the playoff dream is dead if there ever was one. Got a Miami trip at Tampa Bay and then at Miami, a Florida trip, shall I say, at Tampa Bay, at Miami. Miami doesn't look good, but the Jets don't play good down there. You got Tampa before that. It should be 0-3, it looks like. And then you're like, oh, let's hopefully beat a division opponent at their place. Doesn't look good.
Speaking of Miami, let's hop into their game. Miami Patriots. Tua Tagovailoa with the most fraudulent 315 yards I think I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Our good friend Joey Cicini was not thrilled watching this performance. And he's put me on to Tua hate, because I was a Tua truther for a while. And then I met my good friend Joey Cicini here at Syracuse, and I've been watching Tua more closely, and he's right. It's a 5-yard pass that Devon Achane takes for 100 yards. Tua takes it for 70 yards to the house, and then Tua has all of a sudden 315 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, and his interceptions are so ridiculously funny to watch. It is pathetic. Tua sucks. And I'm bending my knee because I was a Tua truther. I was like, oh, this guy's fine, or a box score watcher. No, he's bad. Devon Achane looks good receiving wise. Rushing wise, 11 carries for 30 yards. Ollie Gordon, I want to see him more involved in this offense.
Yeah, 1 carry. It was good. And they just sat him after that.
How about Tyreek Hill? 6 catches for 109 yards. He looked good. Patriots, though, I gotta get on my soapbox here for a second. Why did you draft Travion Henderson if we're not going to use him? Why? Because this is like, I guess this is the fantasy owner of me speaking, which I try not to, take into account, but like Ramondre Stevenson is not a good running back in the NFL. I'm sorry. I've never been on his wave. Even when they drafted him, I'm like, this guy is just not it. I don't like him. But as Nicholas says, panic on Travion or not yet? Yes, I am panicking on Travion so hard. I mean, I know I want to hear what you to think about Travion, because you're a fantasy guy, and I think this guy is like the worst ever. Like I hate him. right now.
Yeah, he's not startable for the foreseeable future for sure in fantasy. If you have the room for it, my suggestion would be just keep him on your bench, stash him, be patient, and wait. I think if you trade him, you're trading him at incredibly low value, and there's nothing you're going to get. And then the other person, come week 6, come week 8, could all of a sudden get a stud. He's super explosive. We've seen the plays he made. He's great in the receiving game so far this year. I don't know why the split is so crazy. Ramondre Stevenson's going to mess this up. He does that all the time. Trevon Henderson doesn't fumble. That's his biggest thing coming out of college. Ramondre Stevenson loves to fumble. So it's going to happen at some point.
He's
going to get benched, and then they're going to give Trevon Henderson some work, and they're going to be like, oh, shoot, this guy was good all of a sudden.
Yeah. I'm still worried about what's going on with Stephon Diggs. I thought he was going to be a way bigger part of this offense, and he just hasn't been. I mean, he has the second most receptions. He had the most targets on the day, but I mean, he used to be the best route runner in the NFL, hands down, not close. He used to be a top 5, top 3 receiver in the NFL, but I don't know.
I think it's another one. There's two sides of it. One, this Patriots offense doesn't have an identity. They're throwing the ball to a million different guys in back-to-back weeks. The other thing about it is Stephon Diggs tore his ACL at week 8. I don't think we could just expect him to be back week 1 and be like, hey, he's 100%. He's older. I don't think it's just going to be like, hey, it's clicking all of a sudden. He'll get ramped up. I still have confidence in him. It's an annoying wait, but he's clearly the most talented target, at least so far on this team. But really, out of this whole game, Patriots, Dolphins, the biggest thing is just these two defenses suck.
They're so bad, and New England sucks. I think New England looked worse than the Dolphins, even though they won somehow.
They definitely did in this game. But you just saw the Dolphins get, I mean, we'll get there, but kudos to Daniel Jones. He did it against Denver too. But you saw the Dolphins get annihilated by this Colts offense. The Patriots, although the score wasn't so run up, they let up 362 yards to Geno Smith in the air in week 1. Geno Smith just got destroyed on last night. And then both these teams go and put up 30 against each other. These defenses are horrible. It is the easiest walk to a division title for the Bills this season.
I was going to bring up the Raiders Chargers, but is ESPN working for you with the Raiders Chargers score? I
got them in front of me. It was Chargers 20, Raiders 9 at the end of it.
I can't get my stats on for that.
Yes, the stats are not there on ESPN.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, well, I guess I watched the game. Nicholas, quick question. Is this your ranking of these guys? Because if you think Murray and Hampton is the best, I hate you. Like, literally, this guy sucks. I have him in every fantasy football league. He doesn't do anything. Ashton Genty looked actually very good. And I guess that will be my takeaway from this game, even though the Geno Smith looked deplorable. He looked rancid last game. He threw balls to guys that I was like, Geno, like, there's a defender there. And he was like, yeah, I'm just going to put a football there and see what happens. He stunk. Justin Herbert looked great. Marion Hampton looks terrible. Vlad McConkey looks good. Keenan Allen. I think let's talk about this for a little bit. Is this wide receiver 1 on the team? Is he? I mean, I don't know, because think about the season that Keenan Allen had in Chicago last year. He was a ghost. He was there, just didn't get even looked at. Now he's back on his Chargers, so it's like Keenan Allen on the Bears is going to be a trivia question in like 20 years. He was there, and then people were never going to remember that even happened. I barely remember it happened. Nicholas said, no, I just meant we were panicking on the rookie running backs. I'm not panicking on Genty at all. I think that Genty looked good. Harvey, I will get into that in a second after this game, but Genty, I think, looks fine. He looks like what you drafted him to do. You can't really tackle the guy, but that offensive line sucks, and they are not going to be winning enough football games for him to be able to, be the bell cow here.
He needs to be utilized more in the receiving game. Like you said, if they're just going to be playing from down, his yards per carry wasn't great, 3.9, but his runs looked good. I know the week 1 game, he had 39, something like 39 yards. He had 44 yards after contact. The offensive line was getting blown up, and he was getting touched before the line of scrimmage all the time and still making something out of it. It happened again last night. Chargers rush defense is also very good. He looks good. As Danny said, this offensive line's terrible. And it's one of the reasons why this Raiders team it looks like deer in a headlight against the Chargers. The Chargers look so much better than them.
Yeah, we'll get into the Broncos, I guess, and talk about RJ Harvey here. Well, let's see what Nicholas said. Herbert looks very good so far. They're throwing the ball way more than I expected they would. I want to ask you this because there was a group chat I'm in. We talked about who's a better quarterback, Justin Herbert or Jalen Hurts. I want your take.
Quarterback, Justin Herbert.
I don't think that's crazy to say. I think Jalen Hurts is a better winner. I think Jalen Hurts does better on that team. But, I mean, if you put Justin Herbert on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well.
This is a different ball game. Now, Jalen Hurts can bring it to you in the rush, I guess, the tush push. Justin Herbert's not doing the tush push, which is the fundamental part of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Which is also weird. I mean, the guy's massive.
Yeah. I mean, they have one of the best sneak percentages in the NFL behind the Bills, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I don't think it's crazy to start throwing Herbert in a top 5 conversation because I know a lot of people have Hurts at their 5. So Herbert's 2-0. I mean, at what point are we saying, yo, Jay Herbo, you're top 5? I don't think it's crazy to say he's better than Jalen Hurts yet at all. I think that Justin Herbert's a stronger passer. Yeah, the argument goes both ways. If you put Mahomes on Chargers, does he have 3 Super Bowls? No. You're right.
But, yeah, I mean, again, like to win football games, you have to be a complete team. But it's also how much do you value just winning? As you mentioned, Jalen Hurts, a better winner. Justin Herbert, he's shown talent. He's been great. Throw him into the playoffs. Can he win the game? We haven't seen it yet. So at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, is Justin Herbert the guy? Maybe this year he's going to do it. He looks great. He's running more too. They're throwing the ball more.
Yeah.
And Herbert looks like the complete package right now. Something always gets let down. It's just that's what the Chargers do.
Let's talk about another quarterback situation in Indianapolis, Indiana. Daniel Indiana Jones is the best thing since sliced bread. This is I can't bet on player props or player futures in New York. This is, if you're not taking this guy to win most improved player or comeback player of the year, you're missing out on money. You got to parlay with that with the Chiefs to win that division, and you're a millionaire, I think. This guy, I mean, I called it. I don't like being the guy that says I called it. I think it's corny to call a bunch of things, and then when one finally hits, it's, oh, I called it. I try not to do that a lot. I said that Daniel Jones was the Sam Darnold of this year. I was like, this is what's going to happen. He's going to go to the Colts. He's going to light it up, and then he's going to stink again, which is kind of what's happening with Sam Darnold. But sometimes you just need out of that situation. Like sometimes you just need these guys are top 10 drafted quarterbacks for a reason. Sometimes it's just the team, the scheme, the playbook, the coaching. Daniel Jones, man, I mean, he looks great. Better than Bo Nix this game for sure. Didn't have a better passer rating though, but he looked better than the eye test. He looked better than Bo Nix. What are your thoughts on this game and Daniel Jones?
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily hating on him after week 1, but I told a lot of people to park the brakes. He beat up the Miami Dolphins defense. He goes against the Denver Broncos defense. Like, let's see what happens. He balled out. I mean, this guy, he scored on 13 out of 15 drives so far this season.
Yeah.
And he just, I think you said, you put Sam Darnold, it's quarterback clearly with talent, with a coach like Kevin O'Connell, and good things happen. Shane Steichen's running this offense and just catering it to Daniel Jones really well. He's doing his job. And the other big thing about it is Daniel Jones is 3rd in the NFL in carries within the 5. They are catering to his strengths. He's a big guy. He's mobile. He moves. He's proven that before. And Josh Allen's the only quarterback above him with more goal line carries. He has more than Jalen Hurts.
Wow.
So he's being used in impressive ways. He's got a rushing touchdown in both games. Everything's just, they're putting the pieces of the puzzle together. It's working.
Love it. Jonathan Taylor looked amazing. 25 carries for 165 yards. He broke one at the end of the game, 68-yard run, but he still would have had if he doesn't have that near 100 yards. So, I mean, he looked incredible. Tyler Warren was was it you that said that this is the freest, like you knew this guy was going to be good? I don't know if that was either
I'll
telling
take
me or
credit for it.
yeah, go for it.
I did like Tyler Warren.
Yeah. I mean, he's out of Penn State. You knew he was going to be good. It's like, you can just tell. I love that for them. I like the Colts. I don't hate them. I just hate the guy that goes, "This is our Colts. This is our team." I can't stand that guy. He's the worst. But let's talk about Denver. They're 1-1. I mean,
could be 0-2.
Could be 0-2.
But at the same time,
could be 2-0. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say at the same time, should have won the game.
A penalty at the end of the game that puts you into a field goal. I know me and you had some strong feelings about that. Man, Bo Nix, I think this is a regression so far from Bo Nix. He has not looked like he did the last few games that he was last year. You got to throw the ball to Cortland Sutton more than one time in a football game. It has to happen. Troy Franklin being your leading target, Marvin Mims, Tyler Batty, whatever you say his name. Sure. RJ Harvey was the fourth leading rusher in this game. It's another rookie running back. What the hell is going on with these rookie running backs? I don't get it.
Yeah, I think fantasy wise, people you got to be a little patient with rookies.
Yeah.
Running backs sometimes do just come in and they're the guy in the backfield. We see it with Genty, Hampton supposed to be. He's not playing that well. It's rare for rookies to come in and just ball out right away. It often takes a few weeks, and a lot of times it takes after their bye week. So I think especially after last year, we saw a lot of rookies kind of go off. People are like, "Oh, my rookie's not doing good. I'm cooked." They were also pushed a lot higher on draft boards than previous season, so probably more reason people are frustrated. As long as J.K. Dobbins is a good running back, though. We saw it last year. He just gets hurt every year. It'll probably happen again, unfortunately. Hopefully it doesn't. I like J.K. Dobbins. And if that happens, RJ Harvey, I think, is going to be great. If not, I think it's going to be tough for him to make way in this offense. But, yeah, Denver offense looks really weird. They needed a wide receiver, too, to emerge. Looks like it could be Troy Franklin. Guy, looked fantastic last game. He played in college with Bo Nix. There's a relationship there already. Not like he's above Cortland Sutton. Like you said, they got to throw the ball to him more. I'm sure it was part of the Colts game plan. Shut down Cortland Sutton, but it's nice that another guy stepped up. The Denver needed this in the passing game.
Yeah, talk about rookies. I want to talk about the Tennessee Titans quarterback Cam Ward. I like Cam Ward. I'm a Cam Ward believer. His team sucks the worst. It's so bad. It is so bad. It's hard to watch because he wants to win so bad. I like Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward's going to be better than Bryce Young. I know there's so many Bryce Young truthers in this world. I'm starting to get off that high horse a little bit, but this Rams Titans game I think it was just forgettable. It was like, sure, Kyron Williams had a good game. Devonta Adams had a monster game. It was just like the most Rams game ever of like everyone just gets fed and cool. Cam Ward though is really what I want to talk about here. Like, I think he's going to be good. I think this guy has it. He reminds me a lot of Jaden Daniels, like just presence wise, but he has nothing to work with. Nothing to work with.
Yeah, I also think it's two vicious matchups for a rookie to start his NFL career with. This Broncos defense, a lot of high praise coming in, and it was eight sacks in week one. Insane amount of pressure. The number 2 team in pressure after week one was the Rams. They are also good up front. They apply a lot of pressure, and it's just really tough for a rookie to step into. The stats don't say it, but I agree. I think he played some decent games. He's been sacked 13 times this year. That's crazy. So hopefully gets a little more time. Maybe he has a little more room to show what he's got. But at the end of the day, that's really what I think it is. It's not a great team. Not going to be a good team when you're the number 1 overall pick. But there's some stuff there, and I hope that he could progress against slightly worse defenses.
All right, let's get into this game. Bengals, Jaguars. The biggest storyline that we'll get into in a second here. Joseph Burrow, man, has gone down. We're going to bring this up. Joe Burrow is hurt again. Joe Shiesty, a lot of. I feel terrible. I'm a Steelers fan. I don't like the Bengals. I feel terrible for this guy. Turf toe, two or three torn ligaments, and he's done for maybe the season. People, it's 3 months at least, and if he does decide to get surgery, I think he said he is, then it is the season. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. They may have given him surgery like right away. I think I saw something that he's already gotten the surgery or something like that. Yeah, they said 3 months. That's pretty much the entire regular season. So now it's up to the Bengals to stay afloat with Jake Browning at their quarterback. It's tough for Burrow. The NFL is a lot better when he's playing. We've seen what he can do on certain games. We've seen some of the games he's just put in front of us when it's against a Pat Mahomes or a Josh Allen. It's instant classics right away, and it's really tough with this type of offense not to see it in full effect.
What does this do to the Bengals offense? I mean, if you're a fantasy owner, are you trying to give Jamar Chase away? This has to hurt Chase Brown because you're not going to be winning football games anymore. But I mean, last year without Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase still ate. So that's my thing is I don't think, for, people who don't care about the Bengals or just fantasy players, like you look at this team and they did fine without Joe Burrow last year because he was out for a substantial amount of time and they did fine.
2 years ago, but yes.
Yes, sorry, 2 years ago.
Missed 7 games 2 years ago, and it was Browning that stepped in as the QB. It was his rookie season too, so I mean that's the hope here. He's only sat behind Burrow for an entire season again last year. He came in that 2.5 quarters he played, and he played pretty well with 3 interceptions. So I mean that's not the best part about that, but at least fantasy wise, he was throwing the football and he was doing an okay job of it. Chase Brown wise, that 2 years ago, Joe Mixon actually had an uptick with Jake Browning as his quarterback. So that's the hope for Chase Brown. Mixon averaged over 18 points per game in the 7 games Browning started. It was a dip for T and Chase, and it's hard to say just trade them because you're trading them at the lowest possible value for a guy like Jamar Chase. I mean, he's doing great. This guy comes in, people might be able to get a discount on him. He's still going to be good. Will he be wide out 1? No.
Even if he comes back for the playoffs, the word playoffs is done. They're not making the playoffs. It's tank for. Oh, can you imagine if they got Jeremiah Love? All right, is he next year?
Jeremiah Smith, he's one more.
Oh,
sophomore. Same thing with Ryan Williams.
Ryan Williams. That if he was this draft class in the Bengals, the worst team in the league. Imagine a receiving core with Jamar Chase and Jeremiah Smith.
That'd be crazy. They just again they'd be like no offensive line. Yes, it works. So that'd be great. Browning was 4-3 as a starter in those 7 games. Can he keep this team afloat? The biggest thing about it is we know how horrible the Bengals start out seasons. They don't win in the first 2 weeks, and they're 2-0.
They're 2-0. This is the best start for Jake Browning possible because he literally has a spread. He's starting the season with a spread, which is cool for him. He literally has a 2-game handicap. And I mean, I want to look at their upcoming schedule here. But with Jake Browning, you go and you play at Minnesota. Carson Wentz versus Jake Browning. Someone said they should flex that game to 4 a.m. I thought that was hilarious.
That's elite.
Flex that game to 4 a.m. I mean, I was shocked this was a 1 p.m. game. I thought this is the most Thursday night football game ever. So you got the Vikings. That's a winnable game. So in my opinion, they're 3-0. You go to Denver, you lose. You play the Lions at home, you lose. You play the Packers, you lose. Steelers, you lose. Jets,
you win.
You win. Maybe. I don't know. That's Bears. Bears could be a win. Steelers is a loss. Patriots is a loss. I mean, you're a 4 or 5 win team at best without Joe Burrow here. It's a gauntlet of a schedule. I mean, you have the Ravens twice. You have the Browns who never play the Bengals easy. The Cardinals, Dolphins, Bills, Patriots, Jets, Packers, Lions. I mean, it is a tough schedule for the Cincinnati Bengals. And now you don't have a quarterback. So yeah, your season's done. Like literally your season's over. And like, I feel so bad for Bengals fans because every year it's okay, this is our year. And then within 2 weeks, like it's like, oh, football's back. Oh, football's over. Like you had 2 weeks of football. No, football's done. Football's done. If you're in Cincinnati, it's I guess the Reds are maybe making a push, but I mean I feel terrible. I hate the Bengals, but I do have compassion for them here. God, I mean, with Joe Burrow out, I don't see more than 5 wins. I just don't.
Yeah, and this week's going to be the biggest part of it. You got to go out and win this game. I said before, not only the Bengals haven't won a game in the first 2 weeks in the last 3 seasons, they've started out 0-2 in all of them. The 2-0, it's a complete change. Maybe that gives you some life, but they have a horrible defense. So even with Burrow, I don't know if I could have fully trusted this team. They beat the Browns and the Jaguars.
Yeah,
good job. When it comes to the end of the day, you got 2 backup quarterbacks starting. I trust Kevin O'Connell and Minnesota's defense more. So I'm not going to say they're just going to win that game, but they have to if they want playoff lives to stay.
Want to talk about a little bit about this Jags-Bengals game. The Jags looked amazing in the first 3 quarters of this football game, and then just forgot how to play football. I think that's a Trevor Lawrence experience, though. It's like, oh, I'm awesome, and then you see him. He waved off the coach,
Liam Cohen.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. What's going on in Jacksonville, man? Because I mean, Travis Hunter, I'm starting to kind of sell my stock on this guy. He doesn't look great to me. I think the biggest takeaway for this team, also Brian Thomas Jr. was locked down. Travis Etienne looks incredible. He's having a resurgence, which I love.
He is. This Jags offense is weird. It's weird at the end of the day. They're trying to get the ball to Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas is scared to catch the ball, and Trevor Lawrence can't throw the ball to him. It's not a great mix. I'm not off Travis Hunter, but they had one of their cornerbacks go down in I think it was the second quarter of that game, and Hunter played a lot of snaps on defense. He played more snaps on defense than he did on offense. So fantasy-wise, not good. But, that's what Travis Hunter presented. So the Jags have that dual threat out of him. Etienne looks great. Bashal Tutin on the horizon, though. Last season, Liam Cohen supported 2 RB2s with Rachaad White and Bucky Irving. It was Bucky that had this same type of sledding, just kept creeping up. Etienne looks good, but he has looked bad before. So you wonder if Tutin's in.
Yeah. Cover this game real quick. The Falcons-Vikings. I'm honest. I really could care less about this game. I want to talk about the aftermath of this game. I guess I'll touch on it real quick. The Falcons looked like mid as hell. They won because they kicked field goals. I guess Michael Penix. I am so not sold on Michael Penix. I'm not even close to being sold on Michael Penix. He's so mid. Bijan Robinson is this offense, I think, and it's so clear. Tyler Algier, they ran the football 39 times.
Yeah,
which is insane. Drake London though is they're decent. I think they're a good quarterback away from being a good team. And they need that because Michael Penix is not that. I think he just fell into their lap and they're like, yeah, I guess he works. Sure. He's sure. We'll throw him out there. But I think the team's good enough to where it's okay, we can do this. Let's go get a guy that can, lead us in a football game. Michael Penix is not that guy. I'm sorry. He's not.
I'm not down on Michael Penix as much as you. They went and got him when they signed Kirk Cousins. They had plans for him. He's got a lot of weapons around him, but honestly, from the Falcons, I like that they won this game without their offense being in full effect. Drake London only had 4 targets. That's going to be rare. Didn't have to use a whole lot of receivers. They said, we're going to beat the crap out of J.J. McCarthy and make him look like he sucks, which he did. And their defense came and won the game. They leaned on Bijan. They leaned on Tyler Algier, and the defense won the game. I actually think it's good signs for the Falcons because although, I'm not Penix is fantastic. You can go in there and play okay, and the defense is playing well, and they have a guy like Bijan Robinson. It's a solid team.
I do want to talk about last week. I thought JJ McCarthy was bad. I don't know how in God's earth they gave him the player of the week for the NFC.
Horrible. I was shocked.
Any other player deserved that. He looked literally like laughable the first 3 quarters of that football game last week. And he looked god-awful in this game. Obviously, he's hurt now. But Justin Jefferson, God help this man. Carson Wentz, please, just give him some targets. Let's talk about the rushing game though, because Aaron Jones is out for 4 weeks now. So it's Jordan Mason's rushing room to lose at this point. And I don't hate that for Minnesota.
Yeah, he was pretty much the reason they had that comeback.
Yeah.
In week 1. They put him in, they started feeding him. He was ripping off a couple of really nice runs, and then JJ did his thing to punch it in. But he kickstarted that offense. And I like Jordan Mason. They signed him again for a reason. Gave him a decent number, 2 for 12. That was the plan, I think. He comes in, he's the guy on the ground, and they're going to use Aaron Jones in the receiving game, which that's mainly been it. Going to be interesting to see if they just completely turned to him now to take over this backfield. But Jordan Mason's got a really good opportunity. Showed he could play well last season. I think it's exciting for the Vikings.
All right, last game we'll get into here. Buccaneers, Texans, Baker Mayfield, 215 yards, led the team down in a 2-minute drill. And Baker Mayfield, I mean, this is what he lives for. I know I asked you this before, but you're putting Baker over Stroud already? I don't think that's ridiculous at all. Where is Baker in your top 10 range right now? Where do you put Baker Mayfield?
Well, in this moment, I'm putting Baker Mayfield above CJ Stroud. I got confidence in CJ Stroud. I think he's playing behind the worst offensive line in the NFL. It's tough sledding for him. Baker's stamping himself as the top 10 quarterback. And, you have those like 5, maybe if you throw in, we talked about Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts, maybe 6 elite guys. And then Baker's right outside of that. I think he's going to be one of your next guys. And he's a guy you like to root for. He's going to try and go out and win a damn football game. Like
I love that.
I like guys like, I think Stafford's awesome. And I'm still so high on Matt Stafford. That guy's going to freaking win a football game at the end of the day, especially if it's tight. He's got the ball in his hands. He's going to go out and win the game. Baker's just one of those guys.
He is. Baker Mayfield looked awesome. Like literally awesome. He reminded me of what he's reminding me of is Ben Roethlisberger for the Steelers. Like it's like, all right, like 2-minute drill. I don't care if I die. We're getting getting in a field goal range. B, this is going in the end zone, and C, I'm dying. Like I'm not turning the ball over. I'm not gonna play bad. He looked great. I mean, he's gonna find Mike Evans, who had a decent game for Mike Evans. Bucky Irving and Rachaad White. Honestly, Rachaad White looked great. I know we were watching this together. We were like, what is going on? Why is Rachaad White playing good football again? Bucky Irving, though, I think his passing game, he's absolutely an elite weapon for this Bucs team. Their defense looked good. Nico Collins needs help. Bad. But I mean, I love what I saw from Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, it's really big for the Bucs, I think, to start out 2-0 as well. They're not 100%. The biggest piece, I mean, Tristan Wirfs isn't playing for them right now, and their run game wasn't looking great. It ended up in that second half, especially really picking up. White was doing good. Bucky, at the end of the day, his numbers looked fine. That first game, there was a struggle. Yeah, Tristan Wirfs back in there. I mean, this team's only moving at a better pace, and then if Chris Godwin eventually comes back, you stack up Evans, Godwin, and Ekbuka. It's dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't cover the Niners Saints. I'll briefly touch this. Mac Jones filled in and actually played pretty well. The Saints suck like so bad. It's insane actually, but the Niners are 2-0. I think that Mac Jones is going to do, I mean, are the Brock Purdy system quarterback allegations are like never going to go away now. If Mac Jones goes in and plays how Brock Purdy played, I'm sorry, Brock Purdy, but your contract is going to be cooked because you're not getting paid that back again.
Yeah, I think it's clear as day. But when you got a guy like Kyle Shanahan running things, I mean, Robert Saleh's back as that defensive coordinator. It's just a well-coached team. And especially when you go up against a guy like Spencer Rattler, they're not losing that game. I don't care who's that quarterback for them. Max Jones has to do a job, which he did well. And I mean, San Fran off to another nice start as well. See if they can keep it afloat while Kittle's gone and
CMC's offense.
Yeah, Purdy might be a little fake. I mean, if CMC's in
Purdy's fraud. Purdy's a fraud.
That's the offense. But
I'm bought in there.
I'd still rather have him than Mac Jones. So see if they can stay afloat till he's there.
I agree. Well, week 2 recap underway. Thank you for coming in today, Tommy, filling in. Love to have you back sometime. But that'll do it for today's episode. Episode 71 underway. We'll be back 72 whenever, maybe Friday. I don't know. We'll see. But tune in for Final Whistle First Down. Talk about the Steelers and everything that happened with that. But that'll that'll do it for today's episode. Again, thank you, Tommy, and thank you for everyone for chatting and tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.